comes trouble.
Me? Never. Well, nothing too bad, I hope.
Did you know that in the Malleus Maleficarum, ginger hair was the sign of a witch? You're my kind of people.
I'm not nearly as talented as you are.
Aw, shucks. You're making me blush. Oh, there it is. Now I'm turning red. You truly are a witch.
So to become a witch, do I need to take a test or get a diploma?
A true witch is not made with pieces of paper. She is born to it and will feel the call. Bureaucracy is for persecutors. We don't need permission. We don't live by the rules. Anyway, what can I help you with?
She's all dolled up.
Have you lived in Salem for long?
Born and raised.
So you know the Perrys?
Of course. Not well. If you are looking for them, Tegan is at the museum. She works there.
Not well. We're staying with Tegan. I figured there was some history between you two.
That was a long time back. We don't talk much now.
And May?
Yes, I know her too. Not spoken to her for a long time either.
But you've heard the rumors about her.
May is a troubled girl, and sometimes such girls get blamed for things that were not there. I don't think she burned down the Hathorn house, if that's what you're trying to get at. People with mundane minds look for mundane explanations.
Dang. Give you weeks.
How often do you do this show?
Most nights. It gets busier around Halloween, and I'm sure you can figure out why.
How about the night that the Hathorn house was burned?
You look a little young to be working for the police, dear.
Oh no, it's nothing like that. We're just curious tourists.
Good, because I've already spoken with them.
So, you were here.
I was out of town. Did you girls know that Salem is haunted? There's a ghost here. If you go on my tour, you'll learn where you can find it.
Two things. One, she's the German deer. So my guess is she's probably out of high school. I would say. I want to say young adult. Maybe in her 30s, but you know. I could be definitely wrong. Also that Nancy Drew has red hair. So that would be the reason why I could remember her and that's why I know her father. The reason why she used that term earlier. Being like, oh, it's the hair, isn't it?
How did you perform that trick?
A witch never reveals her secrets. It's against the witch code.
A code? I thought bureaucracy and rules were for persecutors.
Although, if you take my self-guided tour, I promise you will learn at least one secret about being a witch.
I kind of wonder if she does this get up for herself. Because there are plenty of people who know witches. Don't get dressed up like this. I do like it, but like, there are definitely a bunch of people who just can't robots that go there. Have to dress like this. You know, like you said, the problem that happened for which is all custom made, or she got it from a costume shop. But plenty of witches that most likely a lot better than this costume. Anyway, this is what I was talking about with the blonde stripe. Like in the picture that we have, she's got a purple stripe, which is interesting. Like, why is it blonde now? So that means a nice to a lot of time had passed by, unless she decided to just straight up bleach it, which was wants to kill those strands of hair. Okay.
Do you really believe some modern witch coven unleashed ghosts on Salem?
About 8 years back, there were rumors of a coven. that they performed a ritual to return the dead witches to Salem to seek out their revenge before the witches moved on.
Is there any evidence of such a coven?
Ever since then, ghost sightings have gone through the roof. Salem is now considered the most haunted place in the country.
Interesting.
You think it's a coincidence that the former home of the Hathorns was set on fire?
How else could the fire have started?
I heard there was not a single living soul in the house when it started burning. Keyword, living. The world is composed of two equal parts, dark and light. The light we see every day. It's the trees, the people, the birds. It's our world. You can even see it at night. The dark is the unknown. A plane of existence that vibrates just underneath the light. But if you were in a place like Salem, a place where a painful history permeates every surface, every crack, every brick, and every tomb, the dark will appear. Usually when you least expect it. That's why they say, don't be out past midnight in Salem.
Is that really a saying?
Because the dark may reach out and take you. Also, did you know that Salem has more ghost sightings than any other city in North America? If you want to learn why, you should go on my tour.
Tour. Yeah, I'll have to let you know if this goes just too far. I thought I turned it down, so, you know, see?
Talk to you later.
Alright. See? There. Looks like she was in high school at the time, or maybe younger. And, Tegan, her hair is, like, much longer in this. I think that's hair. Her hair is much longer in this, and it was shorter than we just saw her. So she could have had just wait, like, had a haircut, like, right away. Oh. Hey, Nance, I swear you would love this place. We should go together sometime. There's robbery and the boat guy who was looking for got stolen. What, are you okay? So we're talking about, like, the arcade place. Yes, I'm fine. The thief plane tickets are following him back to the U.S. Nance, are you sure you should just let the police handle it? I am seeing this through. There's something going on, and I have to figure out what. Okay, just let me know if there's anything I can do. Love you too. So I have a feeling Ned is Nancy's boyfriend. I would imagine. It's interesting that she's not like, there's something going on instead of there is something. Anyways, besides my nitpicking, Carson is my dad, and Ned is my friend. Tegan is Tegan. Alright, besides my accent. Should be able. Alright. She's so mad all the time.
The shops aren't making a lot of business right now. A specter may be hanging over Salem, but that doesn't keep the town from getting into the Halloween spirit.
When do we want it?
That's closed, so
figure of a Puritan woman accused of being a witch. These were ordinary people, just like anyone else. The figure of a
They don't show her hair because they tried to keep their hair hidden, being modest and stuff. Oh yeah, see, it's closed. Ravencroft's Emporium. There's that little image on the Puritan lady, too. It's right there, too. Why is that?
The carefully researched genealogy of several accused witches. Their names weren't fully cleared until 2001.
That's crazy. This is so sad.
The carefully
It's quite a tragedy. It's like dust specks. These apparently don't matter, so. Stop being so mad. Oh man, okay, hold on. Oh, clearly a book we need to look at. Here we go. The Salem of Yesterday by Professor Beatrice Hotchkiss. I had an ex-boyfriend named, last name was Hotchkiss. It bothers me, but it's like, okay, now what? Let's not get into that right now. Roger Conant founded Salem in 1626 as a colonial town which was first called Naumkeag, I believe, for the settlement's location at the mouth of the Naumkeag River. The settlers wanted to call it Salem, inspired by the Hebrew word for peace. Might be pronounced differently for the Hebrew word of peace, but you know people call it Salem. I don't know. Despite the peaceful beginnings as a settlement of immigrants, Salem is best remembered for the witch trials of the 17th century, the deadliest witch hunt in American history. England had their own witch trials also in the 17th century and had passed a Witchcraft Act, making it the law to put anyone who practiced witchcraft to be put to death. The settlers knew about the dangers of witchcraft through their own histories, but history still repeated itself. From 1692 until 1693, over 200 were accused. The court of Oyer and Terminer was established by Governor William Phips to interrogate those accused of the work of the devil, witchcraft. Phips and his active deputy governor, Thomas Danforth, both men of position and wealth, appointed judges to preside over the trials. One of the harshest judges on the accused was the rich and powerful magistrate, Judge John Hawthorne. Hawthorne's examinations and interrogations relied on spectral evidence, and it had been noted in history that he often judged with an assumption of guilt. Many believe that the accusers often gained in wealth and land rights from their accusations and sentencing that was solely based on only spectral evidence. After the dark periods of the trials, laws were changed and Salem's shipping and merchant economy grew. The settlement became a place of assembly for officials during the War of Independence, Many luminaries hailed from form. There's a typo. Hailed from Salem, including noted author Nathaniel Hawthorne, born in 1804. Yeah, there's a typo right there.
Sad that even children are named in the list of those accused witches, like Abigail Johnson, just 11.
That's sad. Alright. I know, this is a lot of reading. It's one of those, you learn things while you play the game, and there's a lot of these things I did not know about. So I personally appreciate it because I know I'm not going to remember all the dates, but I'm going to remember that, a lot of these things happened, and they're not going to be like hidden away from, like, in a book that I will never read or anything like that. Like, you won't see these in history books besides, like, just a mention of it, and then that'll be it. Like, they don't go, like, history books don't go deep into it. I know I'm not going to retain a lot of it, but, it's going to be in the back of my mind, and one day I'll be like, did you know about, like, this, that, the other thing for topics. So, I'm going to read some more. I apologize if you don't care for the reading, but, it's better than me staying silent and reading it by myself, so. Bloodline of the accused. The Salem witch trials were a tragic time where those accused of witchcraft were not only adults. The hysteria and accusations implicated even the youngest in Salem, the children. Many children were accused, tried, and put into prison. In 1692, Abigail Johnson, at the age of 11, was one such child accused of witchcraft. Her mother, Elizabeth Johnson Sr., was also accused of witchcraft in the trials. Abigail had lost her father just 2 years before the Salem trials, and she was being raised by her mother and grandfather. The trials were known for the accusing of many widows and people who had been in trouble for any number of reasons, especially those who may have had relatives who were outspoken against the trials or came from a position of wealth. Such was the case for young Abigail. History notes that her grandfather was an early critic of the witch trials and was known for being outspoken about the injustices of the trials proceedings. Abigail, with numerous members of Abigail's family, were accused of witchcraft. Oh, and numerous members. Sorry. The examinations were known to take into account members of the families for many of those accused. For Abigail, this included her mother, her sister, and one of the more famous persons accused in the trials, her aunt, Abigail Faulkner. Aunt Abigail Faulkner was arrested around the same time as young Abigail, apparently. And accused of afflicting others, resulting in her confession. For Abigail Johnson, this time in her life was a long series of examinations, accusations, trials, and depositions. Her aunt was arrested on August 11th of 1692. Her testimonies resulted in an arrest warrant being issued for young Abigail Johnson on August 29th, even though she was only 11. Abigail's widowed mother was also arrested. The Johnsons were arrested and examined on September 16th. Shortly after, Abigail's brother was arrested. Other family members, including her cousins, were examined and are recorded as being among the young children who were accused witches of Salem. The trials appeared to have embroidered suspicion and accusations where neither family nor child were spared from implication, questioning, and arrest. For Abigail Johnson, While both she and her family were arrested, none were among those who were executed. Still, the accused who were imprisoned suffered from poor conditions and the loss of friends and family. Because that most likely would, have rumors spreading, like, oh my god, they're witches. Like, how dare they? They would, even if they're not witches, they were still interrogated, so their social standing is diminished, and now we can't talk to them. That sort of thing. You can't talk to us. Okay. I'll continue. After the trials, many of the accused were known to have petitioned the courts for payment for their losses and asked the courts to clear their family names. The family of Abigail Johnson, who were accused of witchcraft, included her brother Stephen Johnson and her older sister Elizabeth Johnson. The fear of dark, evil spirits possessing the people of Salem, both the young and old, or old and young, caused a hysteria resulting in 20 people executed and over 200 accused of witchcraft. Sadly, the hysteria started with accusations that actually originated from young children. When Elizabeth Parrish? I want to say Parrish. Sometimes that's how that's pronounced. Age 9, and Abigail Williams, age 11, claimed to be possessed by the devil and blamed local witches for their actions. Ironically, the first accusers were children. Their accusations became the spark that led to young children, even younger than Abigail Johnson, to be added to the growing list of accused. When the children who were accused of witchcraft were arrested, like Abigail Johnson, they endured pain while kept in what locals called the witches' jails. The children accused and arrested had cold and dark walls in the prison with rats and little food. Dorcas. Dorcas. That's interesting. I say it's interesting because in Sabrina, the show that's on Netflix, they have, there's, of the three sisters, the orphan sisters, one's named Dorcas. So that's why, and, they're witches. And I'm just like, oh, I've never heard of that name before. Okay. Dorcas Good was the youngest child in the trials. She was accused when she was only 4. She was the youngest among the accused and had to spend 8 months in a prison dungeon. The trials ended for little Dorothy, but her mother, Sarah Good, was later executed. The little children accused of witchcraft in the Salem witch trials suffered and are always to be remembered as we honor the accused.